Hello and welcome back to The Talk. Now, Rishi Sunak is under pressure from backbench MPs to give schools a legal duty to publish materials used in sex education lessons. The 70 Tories are backing a sex education transparency bill introduced by Miriam Cates MP. Now, it would force teachers to share the content of sex ed classes with parents. It also seeks to ban schools using externally produced teaching materials not already disclosed. Well, the Prime Minister addressed the issue at the Conservative conference earlier this month.
And it also shouldn't be controversial for parents to know what their children are being taught in school about relationships.
Well, the bill comes after parental campaigner Claire Page lost a court case over whether she could see the sex education plan at her daughter's school. The 15-year-old was taught that heteronormativity was bad and that she should be sex positive towards relationships. I'm quite torn on this one. I am quite torn on this one. I have two teenagers. I've been right through the whole, all the embarrassing conversations and them trying to embarrass me and me trying to be cool. I've done all that. And I'm often quite relieved that that has been sort of farmed out to the school. That obviously I had the sort of basic birds and bees conversation with them, but that side of things. Having said that, if I wanted, I'm not a grandmother yet, so that's going okay so far. But I do think if I want to see that information and those documents that they are being shown, I think I should have the right to demand to see it. I just do. I know that there are arguments that people say, in a very patronising way, it seems to me, some parents couldn't handle it and some parents would irresponsibly take their children out of sex ed classes. And it's quite often a bit of a racist element to this argument, because a lot of people say it's the very conservative Muslim parents who would take their children out of those sex ed classes, who wouldn't approve of what's being taught. So you can get a very difficult conversation around this, which looks quite basic when you look at the story of my kid, tell me what's going on, and actually is quite a lot more nuanced than that.
I think the essence of this debate is about who raises children. Is it the state or is it parents? Now, for whatever reason, if parents want to take their kid out of sex education classes, that has to be their right. They're their mum and dad. That's their decision. It is not the decision of the state.
But don't you think the school has, or society has a responsibility to equip
not
children?
Above the rights
well,
of
actually,
parents.
So what I do think is missing is a legal framework from government to tell schools what they can and can't teach.
Parents should know.
Well, yes, I agree with that. But also at the same time, I'm nervous about external providers if you haven't actually seen some of that material. Now, it's also really important for those children that they have a broad education, I think, so that they understand everything. But it also, I agree, the parents should see what they're being taught, but I don't think they can take them out.
I just think it's very patronising to do this, like, parents know best nonsense. Like, the teacher knows best because they've been trained in how to do their job.
They're always on strike.
And they want the best for children, just like parents do. But that's their job, and no one is asking what's in the geography curriculum or what children are being taught in maths. So I don't understand why it's giving red flags for me.
So teachers know more about kids than their own parents.
That's not what I said. You just misquoted
Well,
me.
hang on a second then. So you said teacher knows best. I don't think teacher does know.
I think teacher knows best how to teach.
You're a mum.
I am a mum.
Your kids are your responsibility.
They are my responsibility.
They're not the responsibility of the school.
No, my child is my responsibility,
Exactly.
absolutely. But my child's education, for me, I've given that responsibility to the school. I don't school my daughter at home. I think we need to be able to trust schools that they're teaching our kids effectively and properly and giving them what we need to know. And also, we need to back that up at home. We can't have schools completely raise our children. We need to do our bit as well. So I'm kind of torn on this too.
But don't you think the problem is the schools also are desperate for guidance from government? They've been asking for it for ages.
Yeah, I think they probably are on a few things. Now, I think I would like to be able to say to the school, do you mind if I see what's in this particular, class? And they would give it to me. But I don't think we need to force schools to hand the whole thing over to parents at the beginning of term.
But what about if they're refusing to hand it over to you? That's the issue, isn't it? That's the issue. They maintain the right not to tell you. And I think you've got the right to know.
What do you think about that issue? Do you think that schools should... You've clearly said you think that this is something that schools are expert in and should be allowed to do. But if a parent says, show me what you're teaching? Should they be able to say
I'm sure
no?
in some cases there are teachers that say, yeah, sure, let's talk about it. But if they're saying no, there's probably some kind of reason for that, and I don't think that can be ignored. Now, from one legal battle to another, a trans woman has won more